WWE have announced the return of Triple H. We've got an update on CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, and Adam Cole coming back to AEW soon. And another WWE star is injured. So stay tuned. Fantastic news to kick things off. WWE have announced the return of Triple H. Triple H is coming back mere moments. Sorry, I forgot that.
How could you forget?
Moments ago, WWE on their corporate section of the website announcing that Trips is coming back. WWE today announced, effective immediately, Paul Levesque will resume his executive position as EVP Talent Relations. Wonderful stuff. The man himself, the game saying, I look forward to returning to my prior position as head of Talent Relations. I'm healthy, fired up, and ready to take charge. So this shouldn't come as a massive surprise. Triple H coming back. He came back and he was down in Flow Rider, and he told the talent that he's back, but we didn't quite know what that meant.
Yeah.
Johnny Ace has stepped back. Bruce Pritchard, interim head of talent relations, and now it looks like Triple H is going to be doing it proper.
Yes, and I think that's going to be a happy thing to hear for a lot of people. We heard when Brucey P was going to be the interim that, you know, perhaps he wasn't the best for talent relations because he likes to keep himself to himself a little bit.
People were miserable.
People were miserable. I'm trying to put it
Reports.
lightly. But people were miserable. However, Triple H, every time you hear a wrestler talk about Triple H, I guess not every time, CM Punk, but like for the majority of it, especially if, you know, someone's come up from NXT and then gone to the main roster, they speak so highly of Triple H, and it seems he always really helps the person sort of grow and then go onto the main roster. And I think Triple H also has a great sort of for the wrestling business as it is right now. Someone who would, I think, most likely, if in this position, would help to sort of push wrestling in a nice sort of new direction, at least for WWE anyway. Something fresh.
I hope so. The one thing that I've always thought about Triple H is like he's the right balance of corporate and proper wrestling fan for me. I think obviously he understands the business side of things and realizes how important that is, but he's still got a love for pro wrestling. And you're right in saying that so many of the people that he is now going to be managing and liaising with have come up through NXT. They're really familiar with him, and we've all seen the pictures, the videos, and the relationship that he has formed with some of those people. The majority, seemingly, of those people who have come up through NXT. He's like a father figure, isn't he? He's Daddy Trips.
And that's it too, right? Because I think for anybody sort of stepping from NXT and then going up to the main roster is going to be a daunting task, because first of all, I guess you hear about all the horror stories of people going up and then things not working out. But I think if you've got someone like Triple H there who can be there whilst that transition is happening and be able to ease talent into this new position on the main roster, I think that's such a good thing to have, and I think that'll reflect on the performances in the ring as well.
I hope so.
Just making sure everybody feels a lot more comfortable.
It's a really good point. Good luck, Triple H. Most importantly, good to hear that he's happy and he's healthy and he's fired up, just like us with this next news story, because 4 top AEW names are coming back, and they're coming back sooner rather than later. What's the deal, Andrew?
Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer said the hope would be for Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, and CM Punk to return in time for All Out. With Danielson, there is no timetable due to the unpredictability of recovery from a concussion and questions given how many he has had. But he did go on Twitter and essentially say he was coming back after both Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho, claiming he says he put him out of action and then the other one actually did it and whatnot. There was a lot of back and forth there between the parties. Omega has kept very quiet regarding his return, but there was hope for it to be soon, his return. He did say he would love for it to be true, that he's back at All Out, or around that time at least anyway, but nothing is certain because of all the different injury issues he's had to heal up. Punk's recovery from foot surgery as well was that maybe he'll be back at All Out, but if not, then Full Gear.
I hope they stagger these out. There's a lot coming back very, very soon. Big names.
Yeah.
And you've got 4 fantastic moments right there. Those 4 names could make a real impact.
I feel like rather than have one outshine the other, maybe have to be staggered out.
Yeah,
and
do a few on Dynamite and maybe one on each pay-per-view.
And there's nothing bad about that either, because all of them have something to go back to. Kenny Omega and Adam Cole can very much go into like a trios thing with Kenny and the Bucks and Adam Cole and Red Dragon. CM Punk, obviously the AEW champion, can go and do stuff with Jon Moxley as well with the interim championship. And then you've got Danielson, who's already basically said, I'm coming after Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. So there's something nice at least for all of them to go back to once they do come back.
I'm a little bit sad with CM Punk coming back at the end of the summer, seemingly, anyway, that we're not going to necessarily get a third summer of Punk.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Because that was the plan, wasn't it? Obviously, that was the plan. He was going to hold it for the summer, and it would be a big thing for him, and then he'd go and do other things, whatever. Are they going to keep a belt on him until next year and try and do it? It's probably not worth it, is it?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I quite want Moxley to beat him, you know.
Really?
Yeah, legit. I really like Moxley.
I want Eddie Kingston and CM Punk to go into it because they don't like each other, and they've already had a history in AEW where you got the handshake and Eddie Kingston didn't accept it. So I think there's still something there as well that could be quite good. Then you've got MJF as well. Right?
Oh yeah, do you?
Well,
who knows?
Shooty, worky, brother.
AEW, some exciting news once again. They are heading to Canada in the very near future. This is from The Observer once again. AEW has at least started work on the idea of a Canada debut in Toronto.
Ooh.
Where else? It's not yet known where and what arena that they would run. If the debut would be a Saturday night pay-per-view in November, they may want to take the chance of the Rogers Centre, the former Skydome, but more than likely they would play it safe and run the Scotiabank Arena. This is great. This follows the news that, JR came out, I think it was last week, and it was like, hey, next year we're going to do the UK.
Yeah.
They're doing Canada. Lots of wrestling fans are in Canada. I'm quite surprised they haven't done it already.
Well, me too, to be honest. But I think it's a good business strategy, perhaps, to go in a smaller arena first, just to make sure. Even though they will test the water, like you said, even though they know they'll have like a huge AEW audience in Canada, without a doubt. I think wrestling in Canada, they love each other. Kiss, kiss.
They do.
But again, test the water, like you said, and then when they come back, they could do something a lot bigger, I think.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting because, they've just done US shows so far. That's been it, and I think fans are gnawing at the bit. Is that the expression?
Yeah, chomping at the bit. Gnawing at the bit.
Canada.
Nibbling
Beavers.
at the bit. Beaver, yes.
Speaking of Beavers, Sami Zayn up next. I'm not good at segues. Sami Zayn, unfortunately, we got two rubbish news stories now.
Yes.
Sami Zayn's hurt. Sami Zayn is injured. Obviously, we've seen that his arm is in a sling. He was in a sling on SmackDown. The injury is legit, unfortunately. But the good news is it's not major, and the hopes of him being able to wrestle in a few weeks. I wouldn't expect him to miss much TV time, if any, because there's so much that you can do with Sami Zayn that isn't fighting in a ring.
Exactly. Like, he's so good. Even though it's a shame we don't get to see him in the ring because he's a phenomenal wrestler. Obviously, we all know that. He's also incredible when he's just on the mic, when he's in backstage segments. So I don't think this is necessarily going to put him out of, I say put him out of action. He can't be doing the in-ring action, but he can definitely be doing all the other stuff surrounding that. So yeah, I doubt we're going to see him really take a lot of time away from TV.
I think he's the best character guy in WWE.
Yeah,
legit.
without a doubt.
I'm glad you're with me there. Like, there are other really, really strong characters and everything, but it feels like every news video that I do, and I don't do many of them anymore, I come on and I big up Sami Zayn, but he is so relentlessly entertaining.
Seamless in everything he does, right? He can transition from one thing to the next. He can do great wrestling, but then he can also do like comedic segments backstage as well.
He can be a manager. He really can do everything. I'm so glad that he stayed, and I'm so glad that they're treating him well, and he's such a prominent part of the show. Get well soon, Sammy. Finally, another injury, I'm afraid. This time on the Impact side of things, it is the human cube himself, Rhino. Rhino is going to be out of action for a while. This is from The Observer once again. They obviously did that angle on telly where Honor No More took him out, and now Heath is going to go out and get revenge for Rhino. But don't expect to see Rhino anytime soon. We have no timetable on his return. We wish him... I can't believe, right, that he's still going and still looks pretty much the same as he did in like the Attitude Era. And he's just... Well, he's a man beast, isn't he?
He's just beef. I think he's maybe like beefed out a lot more, but still in his face and everything, he looks exactly the same.
In his face, he does. His body, and I'm not body shaming because he's not a human. He's a rhino. So get me there. Can't cancel me yet. He looks like a box that you get a fridge freezer in. He's just like a big cube.
You would ask him to move your fridge as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Come to mind.
Because not at the moment though, because he's hurt.
Because you put the box in. Did you put the fridge inside him because he's the box?
You won't be able to tell the difference.
No.
Anyway, that's it from us. Thank you very, very much for watching. Sam and Fraser are back with your Saturday news tomorrow morning. We got lots and lots of content coming up, including, speaking of CM Punk, we've got a little mini documentary, a true story about CM Punk's original Summer of Punk in Ring of Honor. And on top of that, you got a temperature check video with Tom Campbell and a list tomorrow night as well. We spoil you. We really do. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. Bye.